What's up, everybody? So I'm just here to do a quick update for you on Cindy's tank here. It has been 7 weeks since the build was completed, and you guys saw, if you saw that video when I put her into the tank, so almost 2 months now, progress since then. Um, Biggest thing I've done is change the venting. That's the main thing. But then also I added another wandering dude here. I added a little light. And then, as I said back in the build video, I was going to add in the mosses. So let's dive in a little. So second wandering dude down here on the floor. It's getting pretty leggy, but it's trying, it's growing, it's doing well. This first main one up here that was here, it's got a whole second branch coming off. They're a bit leggy also, but this light helped a lot. This is just a little top fin 6-inch LED color bar. It was about 25 bucks, and it's a full spectrum LED, and it's got like 6 different color settings, and you can also put it to where like strobes through all the colors. I just put it on one and leave it. It does pretty good. Um, Different mosses that I've got in here. You can check it out. The door still works. That's good. So we have this. This is shiny, sexy moss, it's called. And then there's some star moss. This whole cluster. This up here is star moss. There's some tree moss, which are these longer, taller ones, as well as that one. And then a piece down here. I've got some pin cushion moss that's around the water bowl, doing good. And then I added a bunch of sphagnum. So like there's just sphagnum around the bowl down here on the foreground, helping with moisture. And then there's another little piece of pin cushion moss. But then on the background, pushed into certain areas, it's just, and then around this water bowl here, come over here, kind of drapes around and on, or not water bowl, sorry, the little plant pot, but drapes around and it's on top. That is just sphagnum. But yeah, and she's somewhere hiding, but it's doing good. Things are growing. There's springtails. I have powder blue isopods in here, small ones. They're all doing good. There's tons of springtails. Every time I move stuff, I see them running around. They're all over the place. A lot of them hang out in the water bowl itself. They like that humidity and moisture. And they're so light that they're just hydrophobic and can live on the surface, which is cool. But, and I think in one of the videos on the build, I was saying how I don't think she'll fit through that tube, and I was wrong. She does fit through there. She can squeeze in, but she does go all the way through it. So which is pretty cool. She'll go in. I've seen her go through one side and then come over and see her little legs, her antenna poking out. But she goes everywhere. She uses every single surface, and in between each of these, she goes through all of them. And every night she's out going all over the place, up on top of the tube and under it, through it. Pretty cool. So everything's doing really good. So the main upgrade is the venting. And I didn't film me actually doing the venting upgrade because I did it 3 days after my build was complete and she was in it. And I did that because she was hanging out. I saw multiple different occasions where she was up on the front on the little slotted vents. And I knew, like, okay, I got to fix this quick and make a change, because that meant that the air inside here was way too stagnant. Like, she was not getting good airflow through this, not good for her, not healthy. So I changed that quickly. And I used a little Dremel tool. I could throw in an image. Um, but yeah, for the top vent here, I just cut exactly outside of the 2 rows of those little slotted vents. There's 2 little rows, of a bunch of slotted vents. I just followed the outside of those with that Dremel and just really took my time and made my initial cuts, like outlining it, and then just slowly, like back and forth over all those cuts or those lines, like and just kept going until it was all the way through, all the way around it. And then I just used my fingers to clean all the edges. It cleaned up really well. The cuts came out really nice. Just have to really, really take your time and go slow. I think it took about 30 minutes to do both of these rectangular cuts, which is quite a while because they're pretty small. But if you really push that Dremel too hard and you push that cutting disc in, you're going to crack the acrylic. And we don't want cracks on any of that, obviously, you know, the front panel. So take your time, go really slow, just keep going over and over each of the cuts as many times as you need to until you get through it without pushing too hard or fast, because you're going to crack that acrylic. And if you heat it up too much also, it'll kind of gob up and get all chunky and weird. You may have to go through 3-4 different little cutting discs while you do it, but it shouldn't be too bad. It will cut nicely if you take your time. And then I used an acrylic adhesive called E6000, which is really cheap. I can put that in the description. I can link it in. It's a clear adhesive that bonds to acrylic, and then whatever other material you put on there. And so I just used the screen mesh material that I already had. I measured it out ahead of time, cut my screening, and then I just put a bead all the way around the very edge with that E6000. And it's kind of a thicker gel consistency, so it didn't run at all. And then just pushed the screen on and pushed it on well, and it stayed right in place. And I left it like that. And then for the bottom one, it just had that one single row of slotted vents, which was just not enough at all. And excuse me. So I cut down about 1 inch from where the edge of the original vents were, cut down 1 inch, and then all the way across again, you know, measuring up from the bottom to make sure that that was a straight edge, straight line, and cut across nice. And then the same thing, just put a bead of that E6000 all the way around the edge. I had pre-cut and measured my screen material, pressed it on, and it bonded quick. It only took about 2 hours to where you couldn't even smell anything anymore. And then it says it's a 24 to 48 hour full cure, but it held right away. And the screen is nice and tight. It looks great. I really like how it's transparent. Can't see. I mean, if you don't like the look of that glue or the adhesive and that open screen edge, you could even put like little 1/4 inch black plastic trim pieces and go around that to cover it. But I personally don't want any more like black framing on the front panel of the tank. I like the clean, transparent look, and I think that looks quite nice and clean. And it helped a lot with airflow. So just getting this big 1 inch by 6 inch vent down here, and then this one is about 2 inches by 6 inches, where this was all just those slotted vents, and then this was just one line of horizontal vents, which was like so minimal that it made this way too stagnant in here. Not good for the animal. So that would be my one complaint with these iHeartGecko conversion lids to go vertical, is that, you know, they're very stagnant, minimal airflow. And they do sell an option that comes with like a big circle that has a screen vent rather than those slotted just holes. But like I said, they didn't have that option in stock when I bought one. So yeah, I went with the one I got, but it definitely required modification to have proper ventilation and airflow to go through this, like inflow at the bottom and outflow. But this is where it's at now, and things are growing. It's looking really good. The mosses are doing well. I mist daily. Humidity stays pretty good in here. Doesn't dry out too quick, but it will dry out if I leave it for several days. Like, it's got decent airflow now, just with those vents. And yeah, tank's looking great.